It may surprise or even shock you to hear what I'm about to say, but if you're seeing this video right now, it's no accident. A God-sent blessing is about to enter your life, and your awakening ended your old world to make space for it. That might sound dramatic to those who haven't tasted divine orchestration, but as a chosen one, you sense this shift isn't mere coincidence. Before we dive in, remember to like this video, subscribe, and drop a comment 77 below to send a powerful signal to the universe. And if you're truly among the chosen, you'll stay with me till the very end. If not, you'll likely exit long before these truths can fully settle in your heart. Chapter 1. When awakening causes your old world to crumble. The moment you began awakening, you likely felt your old world collapsing. People, jobs, or even hobbies that once defined you started feeling suffocating. It's not that you became ungrateful for them. It's that a new awareness emerged, showing you how narrow your prior existence was. People you meet every day might have labeled it a midlife crisis or identity phase, but you recognize the watchers quietly orchestrating events so you could break free of outdated confines. This collapse can feel brutal. You might watch friendships fade or sense the comfort of routines suddenly dissolving, leaving you uncertain. But in those ashes, God seeds new beginnings. Like a forest fire that paves the way for fresh growth, your old world's end is a precursor to a grander scheme. The watchers noted how your old patterns no longer served the evolving version of you. Rather than letting you stagnate, they guided circumstances to a breaking point, accelerating your spiritual evolution. As unsettling as it is, letting that old world die isn't punishment, it's liberation. People might moan, "Why do you have to change so drastically?" But your heart understands that genuine awakening demands shedding the illusions and crutches that once anchored you. It might sting, but it also clears the stage for God's blessings to flood in. The watchers want you to view this transitional pain as proof you're on the brink of a significant new chapter. Accepting your old world's demise also requires you to mourn what was familiar. Some might call it self-pity, but it's actually healthy closure. Honor the past for the role it played, then gently release it, trusting God's plan that you won't float aimlessly. The watchers already have your next platform set, one brimming with purpose, alignment, and favor. By not clinging to old structures, you signal your readiness for God-sent blessings to enter your life. So stand firm in this transitional swirl. Others may question your sudden shift or lament the good old days. You appreciate the sentiment but can't revert. Your awakening ended that old reality. Now you're poised for something infinitely more resonant. People might find you unrecognizable, but that's because you're living proof that once you awaken, the watchers waste no time remodeling your destiny. And as you watch your old world crumble, a new realm emerges, brimming with unimagined possibilities. That's precisely why the watchers orchestrated it all. Chapter 2. How your awakening prepared you for a divine blessing. Your awakening wasn't a random spiritual whim. It was orchestrated so you'd be primed for the blessing about to land in your life. People you meet daily might see awakenings as personal epiphanies or New Age fads, but as a chosen one, you sense a bigger script unfolding. The watchers often use awakening to align you with a future calling, one that requires a more refined version of you, free from old illusions and negativity. Think of awakening like mental and emotional housekeeping. When God plans to deposit a major blessing, be it financial, relational, or a unique calling, the watchers ensure your inner house is in order. If you harbor doubt, fear, or resentment, that blessing could be squandered or cause chaos. So your awakening was purposeful, cleaning. Each revelation about your worth, each release of toxic patterns, prepared space for something new. People might say you've become too introspective, but it's that introspection that cleared clutter from your psyche. Moreover, your awakening sharpened your discernment. You notice red flags faster, sense manipulative energy sooner, and heed the watcher's nudges more readily. This clarity is crucial when blessings arrive, because not every open door is a God-sent one. Some could be traps. Thanks to your awakening, you can differentiate between watchers' orchestrations and counterfeit opportunities. People might mock your cautious optimism, but your refined vision spares you heartbreak and wasted time. Another effect is true confidence. Before awakening, you may have shrunk from big dreams, dreading failure or criticism. Now a quiet assurance blossoms within. If God set this path, I can walk it. This confidence is not arrogance. It's anchored in divine synergy. The watchers celebrate when chosen souls embrace boldness, for it means you'll seize the blessings wholeheartedly instead of tiptoeing in fear. People might suspect you're overconfident, but they don't see the watchers behind the scenes, validating your leap of faith. Finally, your awakening expanded your empathy. You sense people's struggles more keenly and realize your blessing isn't just for self-gain. It's to ripple hope to others. The watchers aim to place blessings in hands that will share, teach, or inspire. If your awakening left you more compassionate, it aligns with the watcher's goal, that once your new blessing arrives, you use it for communal uplift. People might question your altruism, but you know generosity cements blessings rather than depletes them. Hence, your awakening was the watcher's strategic setup, removing inner blocks and fine-tuning your spirit to handle a divine windfall responsibly. Far from being random, it was a carefully timed process, ensuring you're not just a recipient, but also a caretaker of the upcoming blessings. People might chalk it up to self-improvement trends, but only you see the watchers weaving every lesson, heartbreak, and epiphany into a blueprint for destiny. Now, with your awakened state, you're poised for the God-sent opportunities that are about to burst forth. Chapter 3. The God-sent Blessing, an Inevitable Arrival. When God sends a blessing, it often bypasses human logic and arrives in ways you least expect. People you meet every day might attribute success to connections, timing, or raw talent. But as a chosen soul, you perceive a deeper orchestration. This blessing is neither random nor solely a reward for diligence. It's a direct result of the synergy between your awakened readiness and the watcher's precise scheduling. Once your inner climate becomes suitable, the external blessing hurries to meet you. Some might ask, why does it come now? The watchers wait until each puzzle piece aligns. If a job offer, for instance, arrives prematurely, you might not fully appreciate or handle its demands. If a relationship opportunity surfaces too soon, your unresolved baggage could sabotage it. God's timing ensures that when the blessing arrives, you have the emotional bandwidth, mental clarity, and spiritual grounding to receive it wholeheartedly. People might view it as a stroke of luck, but you know it's the watcher's perfect orchestration. You sense an inevitability, like a train that's been on the horizon now rumbling into the station. Emails might pop up with offers, phone calls from old friends reigniting prospects, or random encounters sparking collaboration. These coincidences converge rapidly. Where you once had to chase doors, now doors knock on your door, metaphorically speaking. People might remark on your overnight transformation, but you're aware this was a slow-boiling process culminating in a swift reveal. Classic watcher style. An essential part of receiving a God-sent blessing is trust. Fear might whisper, "It's too good to be true. Are you sure you deserve this?" People might echo these doubts, suggesting caution or reining in your expectations. But your awakened self acknowledges that such second-guessing can hamper the watcher's flow. They orchestrate blessings in synergy with your faith, not your fear. If you let cynicism fester, you inadvertently build walls that blessings can't easily bypass. So stand confident, not reckless, affirming that if God deems you ready, you can indeed handle this next chapter. Perhaps the most crucial insight is that once a God-sent blessing arrives, it's meant to elevate you while also benefiting others. The watchers rarely deposit gifts for selfish hoarding. If, for instance, you receive financial expansion, part of that might fund a community project or spark a new business that employs people. If it's a leadership position, your inclusive vision might uplift a whole team. People who only see blessings as personal windfalls misunderstand the watcher's broader vision, one that aims to expand goodness through chosen vessels. By recognizing your blessing's communal dimension, you amplify its potency, transforming it from a personal boon into a beacon for many. Hence, if you notice the environment teeming with opportunities and your spirit brimming with readiness, rest assured this is no mere fluke. It's the watchers orchestrating God's blessing to land precisely now. People might think it's improbable or fortuitous timing, but you see it as inevitable, a direct result of the watcher's cosmic timetable meeting your awakened, receptive spirit. All that's left is to say yes, to lean into the blessing with open arms, trusting that God has indeed made room for you to thrive and weave as you once only imagined. Chapter 4. Bidding farewell to the old world with grace. While your new blessing looms on the horizon, an important step is gracefully parting ways with the old world you awaken from. People might see this as a callous step saying, don't discard your past. But you're not discarding it. You're acknowledging it served its purpose. The Watchers encourage you to do so lovingly, maintaining gratitude for how your past shaped you while not letting it tether you to outdated limitations. Part of saying goodbye is closure with certain relationships that anchored you to your old identity. Not all will need a heartbreak, but many might. You might find yourself drifting from acquaintances or even close friends who persist in negativity or cynicism about your transformation. The Watchers see this drift not as cruelty, but as necessary pruning. People may accuse you of arrogance, but you understand it's about preserving your new mental and spiritual ecosystem for the coming harvest. Additionally, shedding the old world means releasing guilt or anger tied to it. If you harbor regret over wasted years or bitterness at those who wronged you, that emotional baggage can leak into your future. People say time heals all wounds, but healing also involves conscious release. The Watchers observe whether you're willing to loosen your grip on resentment. Doing so frees emotional space for fresh joy and purpose. Holding on to grudges handicaps your readiness for the blessing about to land. Stepping away gracefully also includes tying up loose ends. Don't vanish abruptly from responsibilities that defined your old life, like leaving a job or project half-finished. Wherever possible, conclude them with integrity. If you were part of a community or group, pass the torch responsibly. People might feel betrayed that you're moving on, but leaving well is an act of honor. It leaves no trail of chaos, confirming to the Watchers that you respect every phase God led you through, even if you've outgrown it. Finally, practice gentleness with yourself during this transition. You might experience pangs of nostalgia, second-guessing whether you should revert for comfort. But comfort zones rarely align with divine calling. The Watchers orchestrated this exodus so you'd embrace expansion. Let the nostalgic tugs remind you of how far you've come, but never seduce you back into stagnation. People might think you're overthinking, but you know a chosen one's path requires mindful steps, lest old shackles reclamp around your soul. Thus, gracefully leaving your old world behind is akin to concluding a chapter in your personal epic, a chapter that taught you resilience, but no longer fits your awakened state. In letting go with gratitude and responsibility, you ensure your new beginnings aren't soured by unfinished business or toxic carryovers. People might remain baffled by the peace you exude in departure, but that serenity stems from the Watcher's assurance that you're on God's path, stepping from what once was to what is next with dignity, clarity, and unwavering faith in the blessings about to flood your life. Chapter 5. Aligning your skills and resources with the new season. Your upcoming God-sent blessing may arrive swiftly, but it won't flourish if you handle it with old methods or outdated skill sets. People you meet daily might stress the importance of making do with what you have, but as a chosen one, you recognize the Watchers want more than minimal effort. They want excellence. Upgrading your capabilities ensures you steward this blessing effectively, turning a divine spark into a roaring flame of impact. First, pinpoint which talents need polishing. Maybe you have a knack for leadership but avoid public speaking, or you possess entrepreneurial flair but lack financial literacy. The Watchers often highlight these areas via small nudges or unexpected critiques. People might see such critiques as negativity, but you interpret them as God's feedback. A chosen soul uses feedback to identify blind spots and address them, not to brood in offense. By refining these skills now, you'll avoid floundering when bigger responsibilities come. Another vital step is reevaluating your time and resource allocation. If you're about to run a new project or handle more finances, can you keep the same daily habits? People might say, keep doing what you're doing, but the Watchers see it differently. They orchestrate expansions that demand restructuring your schedule, possibly cutting back on leisure or delegating tasks. Upgrades aren't always comfortable, but they're critical to handle and increase capacity effectively. Additionally, gather supportive networks. Upgraded seasons often require new mentors, peers, or even a team that complements your strengths. People may mistake your search for better connections as social climbing or opportunism. In truth, it's synergy. Watchers place strategic individuals in your path to accelerate or refine your endeavors. By selectively building a circle of accountability, expertise, and moral support, you prepare an ecosystem that nurtures the God-sent blessing rather than lets it wither. Resource management also matters. If you anticipate financial windfalls, do you have a plan for budgeting, investing, or charitable giving? People might laugh at the idea of planning for blessings that haven't fully manifested yet. The watchers appreciate readiness. Even if the final sums or details are unknown, a framework helps you pivot swiftly when the resources drop into your hands. This approach signals maturity and ensures you don't scramble in haste or spin impulsively, squandering the watcher's favor. Hence, aligning your skills and resources with the new season is an intentional process, not an afterthought. People might say you're over-preparing, but you've learned that success isn't guaranteed by default. The watchers open doors, yet how you step to them determines whether the blessing becomes sustainable fruit or a fleeting taste of potential. By leveling up your abilities, forging strategic networks, and responsibly mapping your resource usage, you illustrate a commitment to stewarding the watcher's trust. In doing so, you pave the runway for that blessing to land seamlessly, able to flourish on a foundation of readiness rather than sink into ill-prepared ground. Chapter 6. Faith-Fueled Action. When the blessing appears. When your blessing does appear, it won't manifest fully formed and gift-wrapped. Often it arrives as an opportunity or a spark needing your collaboration. People you meet daily might interpret it as another task to juggle or a side hustle, but as a chosen soul, you recognize it as the watcher's invitation. Step in and co-create with us. If you hesitate or second-guess, you could stall the flow. Conversely, a faith-fueled yes unleashes the blessing's full potential. Consider the watcher's typical style. They align resources, people, and timing, but also anticipate your proactive moves. If you land a big client, they expect you to deliver excellence, not half-baked solutions. If a new leadership role opens, they trust you'll step up with boldness, not shrink in imposter syndrome. People might label your immediate jump into action as impulsive, but you see it as following watchers' cues while the momentum's hot. Moreover, faith-fueled action embraces risk, acknowledging that spiritual endorsement doesn't eliminate all challenges. People might caution you, don't be naive, problems still happen. Indeed, obstacles will appear, but your posture remains that each difficulty can be a stepping stone, not a brick wall. The watchers don't spoon-feed success. They empower you to navigate hurdles confidently. By persisting, you demonstrate readiness to handle bigger blessings down the road. Also, keep your humility intact as doors open. Some might idolize your success, or you might feel the pull to become prideful. Faith-fueled action balances confidence with humility, crediting the watchers for orchestrations beyond your capacity. People might see your humility as contradictory. How can you be so self-assured yet humble? But you've learned that God's favor rests best on those who recognize they're part of a cosmic partnership, not lone rangers forging destinies. In practical terms, faith-fueled action can look like quick decision-making. When an opportunity pops up, you consult your spirit, do minimal due diligence, then commit. Lethargy or overthinking can sabotage the watcher's carefully timed openings. People might call you reckless, but you recall how ignoring watcher signals in the past led to missed miracles. Thus you trust your awakened self to sense the watcher's green light and leap in faith, not recklessness. Hence, once your blessing surfaces, the watchers want you to seize it with purposeful fervor. People may stare, confused by your confidence, but you aren't waiting for universal approval, only watchers' confirmation. Each deliberate step you take cements the synergy between divine provision and human initiative. And in that dance, you see God's plan come alive. not as a distant promise, but a living reality shaped by your hands under the Watcher's direction. Chapter 7. Embracing the new reality and forging a legacy. After saying yes to the divine blessing, it's time to anchor this new reality as your baseline. People you meet daily might consider this chapter a peak, like you revert once the hype dies. But as a chosen one, you aim to transform a momentary breakthrough into an enduring lifestyle. The Watchers didn't orchestrate your awakening and blessing for a fleeting high. They want you to forge a legacy that influences lives beyond your own. First, integrate this blessing into your identity. If it's financial growth, see yourself not as a lucky winner, but as a steward designated to advance God's agenda. If it's a position of influence, internalize the responsibility that your voice can shape minds or policies. People might assume you relax now that you've made it. The Watchers see your success as the start of broader service. Balancing enjoyment with purposeful contribution is your ongoing challenge. Also, maintain your spiritual practice. If prayer, reflection, or journaling paved the way for your breakthrough, don't jettison them in busyness. People might claim you've outgrown the introductory stuff, but Watchers know that spiritual disciplines protect you from complacency and arrogance. This consistent communion recharges you, ensuring that as your responsibilities expand, you don't run dry. Each day, reaffirm your dependence on God's guidance and anchor, preventing drift. Legacy building also involves mentoring or uplifting others. Perhaps you find younger individuals repeating struggles you once had. Step in kindly, share tips, or open doors if possible. People might accuse you of meddling, but Watchers often place you in vantage points to catalyze others' breakthroughs. By assisting them, you replicate God's pattern. The same Watchers who lined up your blessings want you to replicate that generosity, creating a ripple effect of awakened souls stepping into their callings. Be prepared that not everyone will celebrate your sustained success. Some might root for your downfall, resentful that you thrive post-awakening. That negativity, however, can't derail Watchers' plans unless you let it. Guard your energy, reaffirm your calling, and treat detractors with grace. People might see this as weakness. Watchers see it as spiritual maturity. Each act of love or tolerance grows your capacity to shine light in dark corners, thus expanding your influence rather than shrinking it. Finally, relish the journey. God-sent blessings are milestones, not the final destination. Each victory paves the way for new expansions. People might press you to define your ultimate end goal, but your Watcher's script often unfolds step by step. If your biggest blessing so far was unimaginable just a short time ago, imagine what else the Watchers have in store. Stay open, grounded in gratitude, and expectant. That posture ensures your legacy forms organically as each God-sent wave lifts you higher and broadens your reach, fulfilling the Watcher's grand vision for your life's tapestry.